Chapter 9, Zephyr. 4 weeks later, I sat behind my mahogany desk, engrossed in the myriad of papers spread before me. The day had been filled with meetings and decisions, my mind racing with the complexities of running a thriving business. As the afternoon sunlight filtered through the tall windows, casting a warm glow in my office, I hoped for a moment's respite. It was then that I heard a knock on my office door. Looking up, I saw a tall, imposing figure standing in the doorway. His presence commanded attention, and a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. I gestured for him to come in, curious about his purpose. He entered and closed the door behind him, his gaze fixed on me. His stern expression hinted at a seriousness that left me puzzled. I leaned back in my chair, studying his face, searching for any clue as to his identity or intent. Without preamble, he spoke in a voice that carried a grave weight. "Mr. Calderon, my name is Agent Reynolds. Mr. Calderon, you are under investigation for suspected involvement in illegal activities. I represent a division within the government responsible for investigating financial crimes and potential breaches of national security." I furrowed my brow, my confusion deepening. What could this possibly have to do with me? I motioned for him to continue. My curiosity mingled with a growing sense of concern. Agent Reynolds took a seat across from me, his gaze unwavering. "What are you talking about?" I managed to finally speak, my voice tinged with a mix of confusion and frustration. "I have built my business from the ground up, abiding by all laws and regulations. This accusation is baseless." Agent Reynolds remained composed, his expression unyielding. "I cannot disclose the specifics of the case at this time. However, I can inform you that industry regulators will be conducting a thorough investigation into your business affairs. This includes a forensic accounting and an examination of your upcoming AI software release." A surge of anger and indignation coursed through my veins. They had no right to invade my business, to scrutinize the technology I had tirelessly developed. My voice trembled with a mix of defiance and desperation. "The AI software is proprietary technology. I will not allow anyone to breach the confidentiality and integrity of my work." As if anticipating my resistance, Agent Reynolds reached into his pocket and produced an envelope. "Mr. Calderon, this is a warrant signed by a judge granting unrestricted access to your operations." He handed it to me with a stoic expression. "I advise you to prepare your team for cooperation." I took the envelope, its weight heavy, in my hands. The world around me seemed to blur as anger and frustration mingled with a sense of helplessness. My mind raced, searching for a way to protect my business, my reputation, and all that I had built. The gentleman stood, adjusted his hat, and made his way towards the door. Just as he was about to leave, he turned and looked at me, a hint of irony in his voice. "Have a nice day, Mr. Calderon." My heart skipped a beat, and I felt a knot tighten in my chest. The words hung in the air, leaving me momentarily speechless. As the door closed behind him, leaving me alone in my office, I grappled with the weight of the situation. Questions raced through my mind, each demanding an answer that seemed just out of reach. The battle had just begun, and I vowed to defend my business, my integrity, and my vision. The coming days would test my resolve, but I was determined to prove my innocence and safeguard all that I held dear. Hyper. I sat alone at a small outdoor cafe, enjoying a moment of tranquility amidst the bustling city. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sounds of conversations and the distant hum of traffic. Lost in my thoughts, I sipped my latte and watched the world pass by. Suddenly, a shadow fell across my table, disrupting my peaceful solitude. I looked up to see a woman standing before me, wearing a wide-brimmed hat and dark sunglasses that concealed her eyes. She asked, in a low voice, if I was Harper. I nodded, puzzled by her mysterious demeanor. Without a word, The woman glanced around cautiously, as if ensuring no one was eavesdropping. She swiftly pulled an envelope from her purse and placed it gently on the table in front of me. My curiosity piqued. I stared at her with a mix of intrigue and apprehension. "Instructions will follow," she murmured cryptically, her voice barely audible above the ambient noise. "Tell no one, not even your boss." Before I could utter a single word, the woman turned away and melted into the crowd, vanishing like a shadow. I sat there, bewildered and slightly unnerved, my eyes fixed on the envelope resting on the table. The world around me seemed to fade into the background as I hesitantly reached out and grabbed the envelope. My hands started to tremble as the different thoughts of its contents filled my mind. With a mix of anticipation and caution, I carefully tore it open. As I opened the envelope, photos and sheets of printed paper fell onto the table. As I unfolded the contents, my heart skipped a beat. The shock of what I saw reverberated through my entire being. The information contained within the envelope held the potential to unravel secrets, expose truths, and change the course of everything I knew. I scanned the pages, my eyes widening with each revelation. The carefully compiled details painted a picture I could never have imagined. It was a puzzle, a labyrinth of connections and hidden agendas. The implications of the information were staggering, and I realized I was now part of something much larger than myself. Trepidation and curiosity battled within me as I returned the contents and closed the envelope, my mind racing with questions. Who was that mysterious woman? What were the instructions she alluded to? And most importantly, what role did I now play in this intricate web of intrigue? As I sat there contemplating the enormity of the situation, I knew that my life was about to change in ways I couldn't yet comprehend. The contents of that envelope had set in motion a series of events that would test my courage, challenge my loyalty, and lead me down a path where truth and danger are intertwined.